Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the last Week 5 broadcast on the VinnyXWolf channel for Sack to the Future 1963. This is the showcase game for the AFL side. It is the San Diego Chargers hosting the semi-pro Atlanta Falcons. They are a 27-point favorite. Let's head down to the field. You may hear in the background Phantom Fighter, who is on the party broadcast tonight, editing for Madden 20, getting us ready for 64.
Hello, world.
If we're lucky, we may get thier89 to join too, as he's just wrapped up a hard-fought victory on his channel over the Kansas City Chiefs.
It was one of the few games against a real team. There's been a lot of semi-pro opponents this week.
I know. Luckily, there was only a couple teams that took a while to edit and stuff to get ready, but... Finish getting this shared. That should be your version. Oh, sunny San Diego. Don't mind what your TV screen says. This is San Diego. Oh, you know what? I didn't look at to see if well, I guess it doesn't matter if I move it or not. Since we're moving the whole league.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, what's it doing here?
There's a look at Tobin Rote stopping to smell the roses as he comes on the field. Okay. And the Falcons will kick off first, so let's see if they give me a chance to hit Super Sim or not. Hey Stonewall, welcome to the broadcast. Alright, L3. Speed slow. End of game. Now we are underway as the Falcons get the kickoff. He's going to be taken short by Robinson on the 10. He's out to the 33. Here's a look at Tobin Rote coming on the field so far in 64-3. He's got 4 touchdowns with 3 interceptions. Coming out of retirement, the former Green Bay Packer. As Sid Gilman was able to talk him into playing it in 63. Rote back to pass on first down. Stands in the pocket, he throws it. He's got the first down to Robinson out to the 48-yard line. 15-yard gain. Here's a look at the starting. Nope, that's going to be replay. Interesting note here. Defensive assistant coach is Chuck Noll for the Chargers.
No.
So first and 10 from the 48. Rote's under center. He's going to hand it off to Paul Lowe. Paul Lowe's got a huge haul and a big first down. Oh, and he's upended. Up to the 35-yard line, 36 officially. Welcome to the party, Terrors. We're just getting underway here in the showcase game. Congratulations on the win.
Wasn't fun, wasn't pretty, but it happened.
Paulo takes the carry again. Well, when you're playing with half a defensive line. Oh, and on that last play, by the way, your defensive lineman was not backing up in the secondary. That's actually a fake blitz by the safety. He starts out, I run that play sometimes, he starts out on a line like he's going to blitz. And I don't know, it's kind of weird why he does that.
It was, the problem is I actually had, I selected him, and I was going to move over to the left, you know, to the right side of the field, or looking at the screen to the left, because that's where the big bend was. And it said Wigan. Well, the only Wigan I have is my left defensive end, who I've been playing as defensive tackle, because I have linebackers playing defensive ends, and my defensive end playing tackle. So that's why I was like weirding out. But there was one play in the game when they scored their second touchdown in the third quarter. I put in a nickel defense, and I had I had one defensive tackle. I was playing with 10 men on the field.
Now, quickly, if you look at the starting units for the Detroit or Atlanta Falcons as they fly by, you saw that Alex Karras is on the defensive line. As he was suspended in 63, he will be playing the 63 season with the Falcons. Also, Andre the Giant, the late Big Daddy, and some other names. Vinny Vincent, starting cornerback, makes the tackle. It's 4th down and 3. Last night on this channel, in the showcase, you saw Phantom Player, Tears 89, and John M. all playing for the Saints. Well, I'm a rebel. I play for the Falcons, at least until they become a real team, and then we'll all be on the same team. So, George Blair lines up for what will be a 45-yard field goal to try to get the scoring underway. There's the snap, Haddle with the hold, and it's good. So the Chargers take an early 3-0 lead on the strength of the George Blair right leg.
Surprised you're not watching the Buffalo Bills?
Well, I was. They were up 17-6 in the 4th, and I thought the starting unit played fantastic. The second unit came in and turned it over a couple times. What the defense really got after, of course, it was Jacoby Brissett, not Andrew Luck, but. And not all the defense started. Like Micah Hyde didn't play. Jerry Hughes didn't play.
Well, the last score I saw was 24-16.
In the Bills game? It was 17-6 when I walked away from it. Which was right after your pick 6 in your game. Kirby Berger coming out for the Falcons. The only semi-pro player that got to keep his name. That's thanks to him earning it against Terrors 89. Yeah, it's 24-16. The Colts just made a field goal. Red Sox lead 3-0. Braves got killed 9-2, and the Dolphins lead the Falcons 27-19. Berger standing in the pocket, gets the throw away. It's a wide open Chuck Berry, and it'll be a 1st down. Also, just in case you care, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are beating the Calgary Stampeders 23-14.
The important updates.
Yeah. Those are the teams I follow. I could go look at the whole NFL. Well, maybe I will. Berger back to pass. He throws it out to the flat. It is complete. I did not happen to catch the name. Number 44 on the reception. The Falcon offensive line. Tim Horton, Red Kelly, Mike McGee, Tennessee Ford, and number 44 does not have a name. Oh, there it is. I can't read it, though. Oh, Ward Cleaver. Harold Ford, Jim Gilliam, Chuck Berry, and I was too slow trying to read Ward Cleaver's name. For some reason, and this was also in the Terrors game, the starting units are all messed up. And it was actually
well,
really
the starting
bad
units are all messed up on mine. Because the left guard, my right guard for that team was hurt last week. And
hold on. Earl Faison, Ernie Ladd, Henry Schmidt, and Bob Petrick for the Chargers. Chuck Allen, Emil Karras, and Paul McGuire, your linebackers. And the secondary for San Diego is Gary Glick, George Blair, Bud Whitehead, and Dick Harris. Sorry to cut you off.
You're fine.
Sounds like somebody's watching a preseason game in the background.
I am. The Chargers and the New York Arizona Cardinals.
Kirby Berger's pass is incomplete. It'll bring up a 4th down. Here is the current score updates. The Buffalo Bills lead the Indianapolis Colts 24-16 in the 4th. The Miami Dolphins lead the Atlanta Falcons 27-19 in the 4th. The New York Giants lead the New York Jets 24-15 in New Jersey. The Cleveland Browns lead the Washington Redskins 17-10 in the 4th. The New England Patriots are defeating the Detroit Lions 31-0 in the 4th. Even in the preseason, the Patriots are sick. The Tennessee Titans, who look like the Toronto Argonauts nowadays, lead the Philadelphia Eagles, or is it the Fuckadelphia Eagles? I'm not sure. 21-10 in the 4th. The Baltimore Ravens are blanking the Jaguars 29-0 in the 4th. The Chicago Bears are trailing the Carolina Panthers 16-10 in the 3rd. Don't worry, they kick a couple field goals, get right back in it. The Green Bay Packers lead the Houston Texans 28-10 in the 3rd, and the Arizona Cardinals and the Los Angeles Chargers are scoreless in the 1st. Oh, also the Denver Broncos and Seattle Seahawks are also playing. Hopefully they're all not high. It's 3-0 in the 1st. The Chargers, meanwhile, have the ball back, and Tobin Rote throws incomplete. Hopefully this showcase game is a little closer than last night's. The Chargers still undefeated, though. There's a look at Big Daddy, number 97.
Chargers and the Bears, the 2 real-life champions.
Yep, still undefeated. Rote, his pass bounces off Andre the Giant's head. Andre didn't even raise up for it. Rote just hit him right in the head. Falls incomplete. 3rd down and 10. I take it you caught a look at that? No, it's not. Oh, that sucks. Rope back to pass. Throws it. A diving catch by the late Keith Lincoln. But he does not advance. It's 4th down and 5.
I hope at some point the Dolphins go back to the old uniforms. These teams are exist.
They might as well just put on pink. They're the Dolphins.
Hey.
Not like aqua is much more of a manly color, but hey! They're the
Oh,
Dolphins.
you know, I don't mind the aqua. It fits Florida, but it's just these new uniforms with a bigger dolphin, and it's just go back to. There's nothing, you know.
Yeah, they
Go
need
back
to
to
go
what
back
you
to
know. You know?
jumping through the fire ring, or ring of fire.
Yeah,
Paul McGuire will punt. So after the
I'm
first drive,
actually
netted
okay
3.
with it. I'm okay with the Jets new uniforms. I like that. I like the '80s Jets uniforms.
I personally think they took the 80s Jets uniforms and merged them with the Saskatchewan Roughriders and came up with this. Why the last 2 years NFL Canada for influence? Tennessee looks like the Toronto Argonauts. So the Falcons get the ball back. It's Nike. 1st and 10 at the 24. Berger fakes the handoff. He's going to throw. Nope, he's going to get sacked. Bob Petrick on the sack. Number 85. The rookie out of West Texas A&M. Also drafted by the New York Giants, but signed in San Diego. How about that? Get drafted by 2 teams who play in the championship games. And I've never heard of him. He was drafted, where is it? 6th round by the Giants, 11th round by the Chargers. Stonewall says he likes the original Dolphins helmet better than the new one. Berger hands it off to Ward Cleaver. And he's going to get 3. 3rd and 19. Dick Harris on the tackle.
So, do you happen to know exactly why the Giants go from really good in 63 to absolutely horrible in 64?
Not really sure. They started drafting Corey a couple years before that. But
yeah, I mean, they have a lot of the same players. They all got old at the same time, is what I'm guessing. I'm just trying to figure out.
I was going to say, I know Y.A. Tittle, just his body starts to break down. He's not the same. Let's see, where's that Bills game? There's 1:54 left in the Bills game. They have the ball. They're up by 8. And the Falcons are punting. 4th and 20. Jack Nicholas. He puts the wedge out, pulls the wedge out, gives a deep punt to Lincoln. Lincoln Gettysburg's his way past one guy. And he was up to the 38. I figured out the other day when we were talking about whether it's bad dad jokes or bad puns. I'm like a poor man's Chris Berman, a really poor man's. So it's 1st and 10 at the 38 now for Tobin Rote. Sends Reg Carolyn in motion. And Rote hands it off to Paul Lowe. But Lowe is not going to, he's going to get a yard. Last week he had 93 yards rushing against the Chiefs.
Tobin Rote did?
No, Paul Lowe. The Chiefs gave up much more tonight against the Browns. How many did Jim Brown end up with in the end? Rote makes a man miss. Rote picks up 3. I think it's coaching that changed for the Giants. I'll have to look at that. Did the Giants change coaches between 63 and 64? Did Jim Lee Howell leave?
I can check.
Yeah,
I think what Stonewall's
went to complete crap.
I don't know if Stonewall's referring to losing the coordinators 3 years before. That shouldn't have affected them in 64. Landry and Lombardi were long gone by that point. Pass complete to Lincoln. It's going to be a 1st down for San Diego as we're under a minute to go in this first quarter. As you can see on the bottom of the score, you can check out other games like Phantom Fighter versus John M., Lions and Bears. I played against the Jets. I also, as the Packers, played against the Buccaneers and struggled my ass off. Terrors 89 channel has got 1 game left and has to wait for John M. I've got 1 game left. I know I said earlier this is my last one, but I forgot. Steelers and Colts. And John M. also has pass complete to Lance Allworth. It'll be 1st and goal. Also has the Giants game. No, it's Giants Cowboys. Oilers and Jaguars. So there'll be 3 more games left and 5 broadcasts total. The Bills have won 24-16 to start preseason 1-0. Woohoo! Let's start this parade. That's Allworth getting down the field. He makes one man miss before getting brought down at the 4. That should end the first quarter unless Rote can get the snap off. 2-1. Yes, he does. Rote back to pass. He stands. He's going to run. He throws on the run, incomplete. So that'll end the first quarter with the score: San Diego 3, Atlanta nothing. You're watching Sack to the Future on the VinnyXWolf channel. Now we are back here in Balboa Stadium in San Diego, California. Can't you tell? 2nd and goal. Rope to the end zone. Touchdown. That is Dave Kosarek on the reception. A 4th-year player out of Wisconsin. The Chargers are now up 9-0. Now the question is, since the Vikings shut out the Saints, can the Chargers shut out the Falcons? George Blair's extra point is good, 10-0. So, I don't know, did you guys catch my Vinny's take from earlier? See if you had any thoughts on it.
I haven't.
Basically, I was saying the NFL needs to open up their app, the Games Pass, get more classic games. They've only got 20 Super Bowls archived. It's, work with the networks. Go back. They should be able to get every game just about back to 78. And the Super Bowls are out there. There are fans who've done game film merges with the radio broadcast, so Super Bowls 1 and 2 are covered.
Well, they did their own Super Bowl 1.
Yeah, with a bunch of talking heads. I'm choking on a peanut. Sorry. A bunch of talking heads sitting around talking through the whole game. Kirby Berger gets sacked.
Well,
Earl Faison was laying down as Berger basically backed over him.
Oh, I remember that they did it the broadcast night, but it's out there to where all they have is just the actual game.
Oh, is it?
Itself.
I
actually have just the actual game.
I was so disappointed in the original broadcast I didn't watch it again.
Yeah,
the version we have, I'm sure you have it too, though. The game film merged with the radio broadcast.
Yeah.
To me, is much better.
It's fine.
I don't know, it might be. I got it off YouTube. It's when I first started Super Bowl the Month Club. You might have. I don't know.
64. Coach for the Giants in 64 was Allie Sherman. Coach in 63 was Allie Sherman.
So it wasn't that.
62 Allie Sherman. 61 Allie Sherman.
So I'm really off. I wonder when Jim Lee Howell left. Must have been the late 50s.
Jim Lee Howell was 1960.
I just think that Sherman's drafts were not as good as Howell's, and eventually it all caught up to him. Not to mention with the stars getting older. Kirby Berger's going to get sacked. That's Big Cat, Ernie Ladd on the sack. And they'll bring up a 4th and 23.
Well, the funny thing is, if you look at them, in 64 they go 2-10-12. 65 they're 7-7. 66 they're 1-12-1. 67 they're 7-7.
I know they started out 70. I know in 70 they started out good and then fell off.
69 they were 6-8. 70 they were 9-5.
So Jack Nicklaus gets the punt away for Atlanta. It is going to be returned by Keith Lincoln.
Yeah, starting as soon as we go to Madden 20, basically, I think the Cowboys will take Oh, where's the favorites instead of the Giants?
Well, in '64, the Cowboys are still they still have a losing record.
Yeah, but I mean they have a lot of pieces that are young.
Yeah, when I looked at the draft, I noticed that they get their Hall of Fame cornerback, Mel Renfro, Bob Hayes. My starting quarterback from 1964 on, Roger Staubach.
You get him in '64, or oh yeah, I was going to say.
Boy, that's when he's drafted in '64. I don't get him until '69.
Really, it was 5 years.
Yep.
I thought it was 3.
No, it was they modified it to 3 now.
Oh, okay.
But they made it was originally a 5-year commitment once you graduated to pay for your military education.
I remember there was a player. I think he was drafted in '08. They were going to let him play right away at first, but then they rescinded it after he was drafted. I think he was drafted by the Lions.
Well, that's because Chad Hennings was drafted, and then they basically gave him like reserve status immediately. He played for Air Force, and then the Cowboys drafted him, and he played reserves. He was in the reserves during the NFL season, so he could play and be in the Air Force simultaneously. And then I think they only did that a couple times in the early 1990s. I can't wait to get Bob Hayes. Of course, I don't get to use him until 1965. That sucks.
Why don't you get to use him in '64? What was the reasoning?
Because I don't know. It says drafted in '64, but his start date in Pro Football, Pro Football Reference says 1965. He's got no stats until '65.
Bob Hayes. Let's see. He was in the '64 Summer Olympics in Tokyo. Not that should really... The Cowboys selected Hayes in the 7th round of the '64 NFL draft with a future draft pick, which allowed the team to draft him before his college eligibility was over, taking a chance that the Olympic sprinter with unrefined football skills could excel as a wide receiver. So there you go. They pre-drafted him.
Graduated. Yep, Florida A&M. And you know who else drafted him? In 1964 in the 14th round, the Denver Broncos.
Huh. How about that? Meanwhile, the Chargers have gotten inside the red zone.
So this is his alternate. Should we just let him go on the Broncos?
No.
How about you?
Of course, the very first draft pick for the Cowboys that year, defensive tackle Scott Appleton, has a 5-year career, mostly with the Houston Oilers. And San Diego Chargers.
No, Staubach was drafted in '64, Stonewall.
Yep.
He just said '63, but he's drafted in '64, but he won't be on the Cowboys team until '69. So, but at least you got Don Meredith. It's not like you're having to stick with Eddie LeBaron for those 5 years.
No, this is Eddie LeBaron's last year, '63.
The Chargers have a 2nd and 2 as they've been driving down the field while we've been talking. At the 11-yard line. And Rote hands it off to Paul Lowe. Paul Lowe gets the first down. It'll be 1st and goal. Lowe is up to 90 or to 42 yards, I should say.
Roger Staubach, 77 years old.
You know, it's amazing to me that we are entering the 54th Super Bowl year. Of course, I'm a quarterback and a quarterback's guy, so I always relate to that. We have only lost, I believe, 5 Super Bowl starting quarterbacks. Bart Starr, John Unitas, Earl Morrall, Ken Stabler, David Woodley, and Steve McNair. 6. Out of 53 previous games, only 6 men who started Super Bowls have passed.
LaMonica still alive?
Darryl LaMonica is still alive. The Mad Bomber.
So you gotta figure Bart Starr's gotta be the oldest, along with maybe Aaron Dawson.
Well, Bart Starr just passed away a couple months ago.
Right.
Now, like, George Blanda was on the Raiders team in 67, but he didn't start. He's gone.
Right.
LaMonica is 78 years and 22 days old. He was born July 17th, 1941. So he was born just before Pearl Harbor occurred.
Wow. Jerry Rome gets drafted by the Cowboys in 1964. Plays for the Cowboys from 65 to 68, the Browns in 69, the Oilers in 70, and the Rams in 71.
No, you only have to lose him for 1 year. Rote back to throw on 3rd and goal, and he is going to get sacked by Big Daddy. And now let me tell you the story behind the name Big Daddy. There was a player, played for the Colts, and then went to the Steelers. He started with the Colts with me in Sack to the Future, named Gene Lipscomb, and his nickname was Big Daddy. However, in the offseason between 62 and 63, Gene Lipscomb overdosed and died. His avatar, or whatever you want to call it, was therefore cut from the Steelers and re-signed with Atlanta, and I just simply changed his name to Big Daddy, sort of give a little bit of a tribute. But of course his ratings went down. The field goal is good by George Blair. It's 13-0. We are under 2 minutes before the half.
This is a glorious name that we get to make in 1964.
What's that?
Theophile Viltz. First name is Theophile. Last name Viltz. Capital V-I-L-T-Z.
Theo Diltz.
April
First.
20th, 1943 from USC.
First and 10 for Kirby Berger. He's in the shotgun from the 28-yard line. He drops back to pass. Throws it out in the flat. It is caught by Andy Griffith. Oh, that's D. Griffith. That wasn't even the right Griffith. Damn it. Berger back to pass on 2nd down and 3. The pass falls incomplete. I know there's Andy Griffith somewhere in the league, but D. Griffith is probably a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs, as I believe I was on their roster when I was doing the Falcons. So far, I've put into the game the entire roster of the world champion Los Angeles Dodgers, Boston Celtics, Toronto Maple Leafs, and now I'm working on the American League champion New York Yankees as we continue to go deeper and deeper into the Easter egg names. Intercepted by Chuck Allen, and the Chargers get the ball back with 1:27 to go, and they are in Atlanta territory at the 45.
So why do the showcase teams have no problem with the semi-pro? Oh, no, I guess the Vikings
I was going
lost.
to say Vikings. Yeah, Minnesota lost to both Houston and Jacksonville.
Okay.
But then they just tore New Orleans a new asshole.
Yeah.
Tobin Rote throws over the middle. It's incomplete. Rote so far is 10 of 14, 80 yards and 1 touchdown.
Although you gotta love the Dolphins semi-pro punter.
Yeah, well, no, somebody got a turnover yesterday. Yeah, it was the Dolphins, wasn't it? Didn't the Raiders play the Dolphins yesterday? Tears?
What? I'm sorry?
The Raiders. You played the Dolphins. For the Raiders, right?
Yes, I played the Dolphins.
The Dolphins punter is so bad, he actually got a turnover for him because he punted the ball right into the back of one of Tear's players last night.
He's the
But
worst.
it was pass line scrimmage. A minute 4 and counting. It's 1st and 10 at the 32. Rote's in the shotgun. Fakes the handoff. He's got time over the middle. Overthrows his intended target. I wonder if there's a single coach from 63 still alive. Rote back to pass. Throws is complete to the sidelines, but out of bounds. Stops the clock with 47 seconds. Because you figure coaches are usually older than the players. And we're losing a lot of players these days. We've lost, since we started Attack to the Future, a good 10 to 15 players.
Well, let's see. Vince has been long gone. Stram's long gone.
Yep.
But you know who's still, well, who was the coach for the Raiders in Super Bowl II? Al Davis?
No, John Rouch. First down to Allworth, and the Chargers call timeout.
And then 63 was Shula.
Oh yeah, he's still alive. He's with the Colts now.
Weed Eubank. Yeah. Weed Eubank's gone.
Yeah, Lou Saban's
4
gone.
was Stram and Bud Grant.
Bud Grant was not yet with the Vikings, was he? Was it still Van Brocklin?
Van Brocklin.
Oh, interception! Interception, but he goes out of bounds. D. Webb for the Falcons. Picks the ball off and ends up out of bounds. 36 seconds left. I'm not, let me, see, 63. Minnesota Vikings. Norm Van Brocklin is coach.
In 63, yeah, I was thinking Super Bowl.
Yep.
Super Bowl. He wasn't coach in 63 for the Super Bowl.
No.
It's 69, rather.
Van Brocklin's coaching. He left the Vikings after 66.
Okay.
He died in 83.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking, what Super Bowl coach was he still at?
Oh, yeah.
Bud Grant's still alive.
Yeah, you're up to 4. Yeah, Bud Grant's still alive. He was actually attended a Vikings game last year, I think, or the year before.
Yeah. Like didn't I know he went a couple years ago in that playoff game that was like 2 degrees, and he wasn't even wearing like a jacket.
Yeah. Bud Grant was born.
Like,
Bud Grant was born in 1927. He's still alive.
So he's already 90, going to be 92 this year, depending on when his birthday was.
Oh, Roman Blasio, sorry. Reply to you, we're busy having a conversation. Welcome to Sack the Future. This is a showcase game featuring the real-life San Diego Chargers, the AFL champions, against the semi-pro Atlanta Falcons, who did not exist. Who said they lost to New Orleans 20-10 and won't win tomorrow in New Orleans? I'm not sure who you're talking about. Who the Saints playing in the preseason?
Let's see. I'm watching. Of course, I'm about 5 minutes behind. Browns just are the point I am. Browns are ahead of the Redskins, 23-10. Heck, I'll just bring up my NFL app. I'll get you scores.
That's what I was going to do, since I'm not actually playing this game. Minnesota. Okay, all right. I'm taking it you're a Saints fan, Blasio. Am I saying that name right? Blasio. It's halftime here in San Diego as the San Diego Chargers lead the Atlanta Falcons 13-0. Here's a look at some of the highlights. There hasn't been a lot of highlights, but Kirby Berger going down at the hands of Bob Petrick.
Let's see, scores in progress. In the fourth quarter, thanks to the 1-hour rain delay, the Jets are losing to the Giants, 31-15. Second quarter, the Chargers are beat Kyler Murray, 6 for 6 with 44 yards. Tennessee Titans are beating the Philadelphia fucking Eagles, 27-10. Ryan Tannehill has 2 touchdown passes. Dolphins beating the Falcons, then he's second favorite team, 34-27.
Yeah.
Browns are crushing the Redskins, 30-10. Packers are beating the Texans, 28-19. The Panthers are beating the Bears, 16-13.
See another field goal, Phantom.
Sure, that's setting up a field goal. And the Broncos are playing the Seahawks in a game of who can get highest, fastest, 3-0.
Well, Mr. Blasio, since you're watching, if you're a Saints fan, you might not want to check out the previous video on my channel. It's a showcase game for the Minnesota Vikings. What we're doing, Sack to the Future, if you haven't seen it before, there's 4 of us. We're each controlling 4 teams, so 16 human-controlled teams, replaying the NFL's history. However, we're using Madden 18. We'll be jumping to Madden 20 for 1964. We have to play with 32 teams. So the other teams are renamed using television, wrestling, baseball, basketball, other relevant names from 1963. Although in 62 I gave them a lot of more modern names, so there's still some of them floating around. With the exception of Kirby Berger. I'm also doing showcase games. The two best controlled, or the two highest finishing non-human controlled teams. This way, the San Diego Chargers, who won the AFL title, and the Minnesota Vikings, who were horrible, but 5-8-1, still gets the ranking as the highest finishing team that is not human controlled. Anyway, long story. Last night was the Viking showcase game, and they played the semi-pro New Orleans Saints. 47-0 is the final. But you will be interested in knowing that the Saints will be human controlled from 1968 through 1975 by one of our players. Back to the game. Keith Lincoln takes the punt, and the Chargers have the ball back, leading 13-0.
Who's going to have the Saints?
John M. will have the Saints until the Buccaneers come lead. He will abandon the Lions. He'll take the Saints for that 10-year, 68, so 8 years, and then he'll become the Buccaneers for the long haul. So we'll get to see some Archie Manning. The Saints will be a showcase team a couple times. I went through about a month ago and looked at them a little bit. Rope back to pass.
Lamar Jackson just threw up a prayer of a pass.
Lamar Jackson still playing? Or are you watching highlights?
I'm watching highlights.
Oh, I was going to say the game's over.
Yeah.
It's 29-0.
Gardner Minshew got 7 for 14, 46 yards. No touchdowns, no interception.
Myself, I control the Buffalo Bills, the Green Bay Packers, the Baltimore Colts, and the St. Louis Cardinals. Terrors89, who was giving you the updates, he's a Dallas Cowboy fan. He also controls the Cleveland Browns, the Los Angeles Rams, and the Oakland Raiders. However, some of those teams will change as we go through. Phantom Fighter, who's talked a couple times, he's the Chicago Bears, Denver Broncos, New England, or Boston Patriots, I should say, and the San Francisco 49ers. Our fourth member, who right now is storming Area 51, John M., he's New York Giants, Houston Oilers, Detroit Lions, and Pittsburgh Steelers. That's the lineup for 63 anyway. Actually, that'll be the lineup 63 through 65 before the next change occurs. Meanwhile, 1st and 10 is Tobin Rope finds Don Norton, and the Chargers are into Falcon territory at the 39-yard line.
Tyrod Taylor still playing in the NFL?
Well, some teams take chances
Where's
on him.
he at?
Is he backing up San Diego?
I don't know. You mean Los Angeles?
Black quarterback with Taylor on the back. Yeah, I'm sorry, Los Angeles.
Robinson with a catch gets down to the 15. Screen pass gets the Chargers deep into Atlanta territory. Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, comes in and makes the tackle, saving the touchdown. McDougal goes in motion.
We get to watch the Cowboys play.
Paul Lowe has 10 carries for 42 yards.
It is.
Paul Lowe stands right up, and Andre the Giant was towering over, but the camera was looking up at him, so it made Andre look even taller. Rope back to pass. The ball is tipped. It caught by touchdown, San Diego. The immaculate reception, not really, but still a tip pass, and Allworth catches it on the run, wide open, 6 points. Let's see who gets the hands up. Oh, it bounced off Andre the Giant's helmet. It bounced off Andre's helmet, and the 10th wonder of the world is how Allworth stayed with it and brings it down for the touchdown.
Is that the first time?
No. Mr. Blasio just mentioned his cousin was quarterback for the Saints in the 80s, Bobby Hebert. I remember watching Bobby Hebert as a fan of the Falcons. As a fan of the Falcons, I can remember watching against the Falcons against the Saints, especially that 91 playoff game, which the Falcons won. Lance Allworth catches the 2-point conversion, and it is 21-0 San Diego.
Bobby Hebert made the Saints relevant.
No, they were not. Yeah, I was going to say, no, they were... Oh, they were the Aints then, yeah, but they were not the Aints toward the end of Hebert's career.
Yeah. No, he made him relevant.
Yeah.
He came over, he and a whole bunch of USFL guys came over.
That linebacking core they had in the beginning of the 90s was phenomenal. 4 Pro Bowl linebackers on one team.
Twilling, Mills, Vaughn Johnson, and
Ricky Jackson. Ricky Jackson.
Oh,
hell of a team.
Stand Ricky Jackson because he went to the 49ers the 1994 season just to screw the Cowboys out with another Super Bowl.
And so did Ken Norton and Deion Sanders.
Yes, exactly. Charles Mann.
Well, the 49ers opened the pocketbooks that year. That worked.
And it screwed 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it did.
Berger's in the shotgun. He throws it out into the flat to Ward Cleaver. Gets out of bounds as he does not have the Beaver with him.
That'll be fun 49ers and Cowboys matchups.
The Four Horsemen, yes. They definitely were. I think I saw a picture with him. Something about Four Horsemen on it. We hand off to Ward Cleaver. He's got 5 carries for 8 yards. Lance Allworth is having a huge game, Stonewall, and I'm sure that Terriers cannot wait for him to become a Cowboy. And pair him up with Bob Hayes. Berger back to pass. And he's going to be hit and dropped as Ernie Big Cat Ladd. So the Falcons have their pro wrestler in the middle, and the Chargers have the one who actually did play American football, Ernie Ladd. The Saints were unbelievable, their linebackers. It's a shame they never won a playoff game with that core. I mean, I would have been willing to watch them beat the Eagles in '92. The victory over, in '91, obviously I was happy the Falcons beat them. But they actually had a lead on the Eagles in that game too. 4th and 16. Jack Nicholas will get out the sandwich and punt the ball. Now it's going to be blocked. It is. It's blocked. It is picked up by Paul McGuire. So one punter picks up the other punter's mistake, and it'll be 1st and goal. No, 1st and 10 from the 11. Jack Nicholas duffed that one. That's remember those commercials? I think it was Bud Light back in the '90s. Full contact golf. George Blair. So the kicker blocks the punter, and the other punter picks it up. That's talk about not participating in brotherhood of the leg. 1st and 10. Tobin Rote's in the shotgun. He steps up. Andre the Giant just sits on him. That's Andre's first sack, and now Andre's not moving. It does take him a while to get off. I remember watching a match with him and Big John Studd from '83. Studd put Andre in a headlock, and Andre literally fell asleep during the match, and the referee didn't know what to do. So for 7 minutes, Studd sits there with a headlock until Andre wakes up. It's on YouTube.
That sounds.
I mean, I guess technically you could say that Andre submitted because he passed out from the headlock, but which there's all kinds of stories about stuff like that. But a referee, I'm sure no referee wanted to give Andre the Giant his first loss via submission. So Tobin Rote back to pass on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Paul Lowe with the reception. He's going to gain 2. Jim Mora was coach. Playoffs. Although he said that with the Colts. 3rd down and 14. If you like classic football, Mr. Blasio, you came to the right spot. The 4 of us, we sometimes get off topic, talk about storming Area 51, but we definitely know our football. Rote back to pass. He throws it over the middle. It's caught by Robinson. He's going to be tackled at the 12, and that will send on to the game George Blair to attempt a field goal. So after blocking the kick on one end, Blair will get to attempt a field goal on the other. This will be from 29 yards out. And the kick is up, and it's good. The Chargers have a 24-0 lead over the hapless, semi-pro, yet to be real Atlanta Falcons. You're watching Sack to the Future, Week 5 in our 4th season, 1963. The previous 3 seasons and this one all have their own playlists on my channel.
All this talk about the 92 Saints makes me want to start up Best Era Football again.
Hey,
What?
you got some time. With John M. storming Area 51, you got a couple days.
I hate doing that.
Why? What's going on?
There's this, I'm looking at Google here, and there's something from Heroic Hollywood. It says Superman star Henry Cavill replaces Craig as James Bond. And I'm like, what? So I go and look at it, and it goes, Yeah, Superman Henry Cavill replaces James Bond's successor in a stunning new piece of fan art.
Oh.
I'm like, fuck you.
The internet. Oh, Kirby Berger puts a pass high for Loskatov. The Toronto Maple Leaf goes up into the air, and Paul McGuire takes his legs out from under him. The pass is incomplete. Paul McGuire, not really known for his linebacking. He's more of a punter, but he did, when he was with the Chargers, he did start at linebacker. Loskatov did not have a chance at that. He pretty much lost his head. 2nd and 10. Berger changing the play. Ward Cleaver gets it, but Big Cat just throws him aside. Big Cat, who go on to have a tremendous feud with Andre the Giant in the 70s. All over America, they're throughout the territories, world class, WWF, among others. It's 3rd down and 9. Berger back to pass. He's going to throw deep. Overthrows everybody, and that'll bring on Jack Nicklaus on 4th down. The Golden Bears' last punt. No, that was Arnold Palmer. What was Jack Nicklaus's nickname?
What?
Jack Nicklaus. Oh, the Golden. Yeah, it is the Golden Bear. The Golden Bears' last punt was blocked. He's going to stand at his 11. And he gets this punt off. It's going to be a long one. Fair catch called for by Keith Lincoln. Keith Lincoln passed away a couple weeks ago on that unfortunate string, losing 3 players within like 6 days. Keith Lincoln, Nick Bonacani, and Cliff Branch. First and 10 for Tobin Rote and the Chargers. Only one of 2 undefeated teams left in Sack the Future, along with the Chicago Bears. Lowe takes the handoff. He's going to pick up 2. Well, thanks for following, and make sure you check my partner channels, Phantom Fighter, Terrors89, and John M. You can see the links on my homepage, my channel's homepage. Get all your Sack to the Future action. Low. Just be mindful that when we're actually playing the game, we're not always this cordial and nice. Sometimes the computer tries to screw us. Definitely tries to screw Terrors constantly.
Yet I'm the bad guy.
Have a good night, Roman. Thanks for watching. 3rd down and 7 for... Well, there was that one guy that commented he couldn't watch your channel because of your language. It was back in, were we in the 62 season, I think, at that time? Yeah, because you were with the Rams. I think you were with the Rams. So.
I don't remember that.
Oh, it was early in the Rams season. It was late in the game, too. He had been having, I think it was a close game. He might have even lost.
It was the 49ers, I think, the first 49er game.
Right near the end of the...
Because I was ahead, and they ran the ball like on 1st down with 45 seconds to go or something, and all my guys fell down and I couldn't tackle.
McGuire gets the punt down to the 3. Yeah. What was funny about that, though, is that it was a completely random comment. The guy had not been commenting throughout the game. It was just right near the end, and something like, I'm not watching your channel language.
Yeah. I was mad, so I think I said, fuck you.
Yeah. Well, definitely, if you want history of the game, where the game's to watch. However, if you're watching at work, sometimes you might want to put your headphones on. Berger's in the shotgun. He's in his own end zone. He's back to pass. Throws it. It's complete to Chuck Berry. And Chuck Berry rocks and rolls his way out to the 6-yard gain. Last night when I was calling that Saints-Vikings game, John Stamos was the Saints quarterback, and I was waiting for Stamos to do something good so I could say, Ow, have mercy, and he didn't. Then he threw the pick six, and I had to use it there. The other one that I had set up and was waiting to run all night long was Rob Schneider. He was playing tight end for the Saints, and I wanted to do the "You can do it." Schneider, I never got the chance. That pass.
That's why you have these names just so you can do stuff like that.
Yes. Well, with the 20 series, we had guys had some interesting names like Frank Bacon. I have other almost intercepted as what number is that? 43 for the Chargers. That would be Gary Glick, the former Houston Oiler, jumps in front of the ball but cannot catch it. Boy, he certainly intercepted me enough when he was with the Oilers. Second down and 10 from the 13. Berger's in the pistol. Berger's back to pass. He backs up a little. He stands there, sacked. This time it's Bob Petrick with his third sack of the afternoon, and the Chargers have 7. It'll be third down and 19. 6:33 to go in the game.
We go out on the limb and say they're going to stay on the.
Yep. Ward Cleaver takes the handoff. He's got a big hole. But Ward only picks up 12. He needed 19. So it'll be 4th down and 7 as George Blair comes up and makes the tackle. Fourth down and 7. Nicholas punts the ball away. Keith Lincoln takes it to 40, runs over one man, but cannot get away from the second. Gets up to the 46. Now, if I were the Chargers, I would just run Paul Lowe and Keith Lincoln and end this game. But if they're anything like the computer was last night with Minnesota, expect a deep pass. I think this is the last Chargers. I think this is the last Chargers showcase for a couple weeks. I think they start playing humans. Paul Lowe takes the handoff. He's got the first down, spins around, backs up, runs the wrong way, gets to the 44. First down.
Browns play the Steelers next week. Rematch of the blowout. I'll get one defensive lineman.
But John M's got his starting two quarterbacks are out. He's going to have to run with Terry Knopfsinger plus a semi-pro guy. McDougal comes in motion. It's 1st and 10. The Chargers are running Paul Lowe. This time Paul Lowe runs over Andre the Giant. Okay, that's realistic. Second down and 7.
Semi-pro Andre the Giant.
Semi-pro Andre the Giant's still 7 feet tall, so he's not 7'4" because Madden won't let me do that.
He's got no balance.
Yeah. Paulo, this time he's blitzed or taken off his feet by number 30. So he runs over Andre the Giant, but Shawn Michaels delivers sweet chin music. On the next play, 3rd down and 8.
Sounds like it is the WWE.
I think those are the only 2 that are left. There were a lot more WWE guys in 62. Now we got a lot more Los Angeles Dodgers and Boston Celtics. Lincoln picking up 5, and there's an injury. It is going to be a Falcon. Number 27 is hurt as Lincoln gets his 4th reception. That would be Frank Mihailovich. So that's a Maple Leaf. I might have probably pronounced that wrong. Hockey player got hurt. They didn't even wear helmets since the 60s. Why? You should be tougher than that. We're going to have a field goal from George Blair. This will 36 yards. Almost blocked, but it's up, and it's good. 27-0, San Diego.
Have to make these semi-pro guys so bad. They stretched out the ratings even more.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they'll all just replace their entire team with free agents.
Oh yeah, probably.
I really should be going to bed. I gotta get up really early in the morning.
Yeah, I got to work one more day this week.
Yeah, I'm on the Saints, so as soon as I get to...
Big Cat gets the credit for the sack as Kirby Berger trips over his offensive lineman. And Big Cat looking proud of himself there. That's his second sack today.
As I said, I'm just a couple teams away from going to bed.
Yeah, I'm gonna go put in a little work on the rivalry. I'm gonna do a little bit on the 60 Cowboys. Probably jersey numbers 1 through 25. I think it's 8 players. And then I'm gonna go to bed.
All right, well, I will leave you gentlemen then.
All right.
You both have a good night. I will message you when I get my Madden this weekend.
Okay. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, you too.
Later. 3rd down and 14 after the completion to Chuck Berry. Or incompletion, I'm sorry, intended for Chuck Berry. Berger back to pass on 3rd and 14. Completes it to Ward Cleaver, who steps out of bounds for a loss of 3 yards. No, I'm on the wrong end. Gain of 3 yards, sorry. 4th and 12. Jesus, were you playing Mario? Sound like you just collected a coin.
No, that's my phone going off.
Oh. Nicholas punts to Lincoln. Lincoln gets up to the 32, and San Diego with 2:13 to go will take over. Atlanta still has their timeouts, but I don't know if they're dumb enough to use them or concede the game. It was an interesting game on the Chargers' part to get to 5-0. The Jets are 1-4. They beat somebody.
They beat the Oilers.
No. He only lost the 2 games to you and me.
No, he lost that game.
Did he?
Yeah, I mean,
Huh.
he paid himself.
Oh, that's
off
right.
or
That's the
something.
one I was gonna say. That's the one I didn't watch. Yep, because I was working.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch because it's amazing how it happened.
2-minute warning. That should be the last time the clock stops. Lowe takes the handoff. He's got the first down as he's thrown forward. They had him stopped, but number 83 tackles him into the first down. And that's Johnny Mathis on the tackle. This time Lowe is crushed in the backfield by Alex Karras, who's still trying, but he's the only one that's worth anything. 2nd and 11. Redskins and Seahawks tied at 24 in the 4th. Bobby Mitchell, 6 receptions, 61 yards, 2 touchdowns. Paul Horning, 19 carries, 61 yards in his season off from the NFL. And that's the end of the game, ladies and gentlemen. The San Diego Chargers defeat the Atlanta Falcons 27-0 to get to 5-0. And in both showcase games this weekend, or this week, the showcase team shut out semi-pro opponents by a total score of 70-0. So if you watched my games in the last 2 days, you definitely don't like semi-pro teams.
Alright, well, I'm on the Seahawks now, so I think I just have the Texans. But I'm going to go ahead and let you go and finish that team. And
Yeah, I don't have to do any trading on those teams. I just rename. I'm off Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to do the Bengals and Bills, I believe, are the next 2 alphabetically.
Okay. Alright, well, have a good night.
You too.
Alright.
Well, once again, the final score here from San Diego's Balboa Stadium. The San Diego Chargers 27, and the Atlanta Falcons 0. Thanks for joining us on the VinnyXWolf channel. Our next Sack to the Future game is to be determined, but I will try to get out a Vinny Vincent career game tomorrow on NCAA 2000. It is the bowl game, the final game for the 1999 Syracuse Orange. Until then, I'm Vinny Vincent. God bless America.